Hi everyone, welcome back. I just wanted to give you a couple of updates on the material about physical environment. So we're already having a lot of great discussion in the discussion boards about particularly the use of color in prisons. But I wanted to talk about a couple other things as well. So also included in our discussion of physical environments are things like lighting and music. So if you've ever walked into like a Forever 21 or an Abercrombie and Fitch, something like that, um, a retail market that's geared towards younger individuals, you'll notice that everything's really like bright and shiny, and there's usually um, kind of loud colors, and there's usually loud music, and it's very upbeat music. And the reason for this is that loud music and bright lighting stimulates buying behavior in young people. So that's important to know because, if you're out shopping or you have kids and they're shopping, it becomes part of something that makes them want to spend money, and it makes them want to spend money quickly. So that's something to be aware of. Conversely, it does not do that with older people. And when I say older people, I don't mean like senior citizens, I mean like adults, because adults are old. I'm an adult, whatever. But so think of like a really fancy, like fine dining restaurant. Um, it's usually pretty low lighting and kind of soft elevatory classical music playing. And again, the reason here is that is a climate in which people are likely to spend more time. So if you're relaxing in a restaurant, you're more likely to order dessert or get another bottle of wine or stay for coffee. Again, things that raise the amount of money that you're spending at this fancy dinner. So some things that we maybe haven't thought about before. One of my favorite examples of the use of lighting and or music is last call at a bar. So if you have ever been into a bar, not that you have, but maybe you have, you'll probably know that when last call happens, it's not this like gentle transition into, oh, okay, it's time to go home. It's a very abrupt, like music goes off, lights get thrown on, right? And there's a reason for this. It's a very clear message that it's time to go home. But it's in the service industry. So if I'm your bartender and 2 o'clock rolls around, I don't want to be like, you have to get out because I'm depending on you for a tip. Like, I need that income. So instead, when those lights go on, you get the message without me having to say anything to you. So that's kind of an important thing to think about. Um, Going back to sort of the design element of this, fashion and housing and decor and all of those things seem to have different trends in terms of color. So everything that was built in like the late 1990s, early 2000s was kind of a yellowish beige or tan. Everything that's being built now is gray. You'll notice this, it's all gray. And my house was built in 2016, so gray. Um, but we have these sort of dedicated neutrals, and somewhere somebody decides what those are going to be, and then they just sort of permeate our culture. So we're drawn to certain things. You might be drawn to different types of wood or different types of brick or stone, etc. But a lot of that isn't necessarily a cognizant choice. You're being conditioned to think that way by the images that you're seeing and the environments that you're taking in. And the only other element that I want to talk about is weather. So how does weather impact our nonverbal communication or our communication in general? Um, if you've ever heard of seasonal affective disorder, it's sometimes referred to as SAD. It comes on in the winter months, and it's kind of a mild depression. You don't have a ton of energy, you don't really want to do much. And it is precipitated by a lack of sunlight, right? So, because we're not getting enough of that direct sort of real daylight, because the hours in winter are so much shorter, then our brains kind of get foggy and tired as well. The opposite end of this spectrum is not that people get super happy in the summer because there's extra sunlight, but that heat can have another emotional response. So in heat waves, violent crime skyrockets. So looting, vandalism, assault, rape, murders, they go through the roof in heat waves, and particularly in urban environments where people are closer together and they have less sort of personal space. And the reason, again, is that your body's having this physiological reaction. And of course, that's going to make you uncomfortable. Of course, it's going to make you irritable. And those things just sort of build on each other until it all turns into madness and chaos. So, those are just kind of some extra fun facts to think about when you start to think through the physical environment. And you're doing a great job with the discussion board for this topic. And I look forward to what you come up with for the rest of the week.